You know, people ask about the glasses, they ask about your necklace, they ask what makeup you're wearing.
No one is asking about your fake Chanel necklace. Hey everyone, it's Turd Girl 1 and I am back with another anti-MLM video. Yay. So today's video is a Monat Hun. She's going to be talking about the opportunity. I'm sorry it's another Monat Hun. The past 2 weeks on my days off, I've been on vacation, and Monat Huns have just, they give me content easy so that I have something prepared for when I return. I have been following some Plexus Huns. I promise you that kind of stuff is coming. And I also promise that not everything is going to be just like a reaction video. I do want to do more stuff like the science experiment video, like the statistic video. I do want to do more stuff like that. There will be a little bit of math involved in this one, super easy math, but yeah, I've just been a little bit lazy lately, but I also want to be consistent with content. So, you know, whatever. Thank you, Monat Huns, for providing content that is just unbearable. The video that we are going to be watching is very long. It's like 30 minutes long. I'm actually probably going to trim out some of the parts that I don't find relevant, where maybe she's just kind of rambling about something else, only because I want to keep it, short and sweet. I don't want to overload you with a very long video. I found this Hun on someone else's Instagram. They were doing like a live. It was like 4 of them that are all on the same team together. And I'm going to introduce you to her by playing her part in that live call. And then we'll go into her actual like opportunity call video.
And I joined Monat almost 2 years ago. It was May 2019 when I started. I met in a business organization. And so we were seeking out like how to better our resume and how to do networking and how to get a job, how to get an internship after college. So after I went to San Jose State, I got my business degree. I got a job doing marketing at a tech company. And I was like, woohoo, yes, like this is what I went to school for. This is what I envisioned myself doing, like being this corporate badass, like being like in this space that's primarily like white male dominated. And I was like, I'm gonna go kick ass, I'm gonna punch the glass ceiling, and I'm gonna like be a badass. And it was not what I thought it was gonna be. I felt very unfulfilled after starting, and it was cool. Like, don't get me wrong, the company did really cool things, but I knew I was meant to do more in my life. Like, I always envisioned myself like in this high-rise apartment with like, I knew I could have a certain life. I knew it wouldn't be easy, but that's what I always dreamt of. And I quickly realized that the corporate route was not ever going to get me there. And if it did, it would take a very long time. It would require navigating politics. It would require being unfulfilled. And that just didn't seem like what I wanted to do. I figured, okay, I have this job. Like, I could start a side hustle. And it wasn't even about the money, because honestly, in my full-time job, I was making good money. Made money to put into a 401k, like almost maxed that out. I was investing in company stock. I put money to savings. I had money for expense. Like, I was doing well. And it was, again, not about the money necessarily, although extra money did appeal to me, like I think it does for most people. It was the fact that I would go to work and come home, commuting almost 3 hours a day with a pit in my stomach, like hating going to work. And I was like, dude, I'm like 22. Is this what I'm going to do for the rest of my life? Like, that sucks, right? So I was like, nope. If anything, I'm just going to join this community and then I'll have something fun to do after work. Like,
So I only wanted to play that because there's a couple of things that I wanted to point out about her. So part of this Hun's story is that she went to college, and as soon as she graduated with her business degree, she got a job in marketing with a tech firm. I can tell you that's a lie. I found her LinkedIn. Everything was connected to like her real name. I can tell you she worked in HR. She did not work as HR. She was like kind of an assistant, an HR assistant. That is a big lie to say that you worked in marketing at a tech company when you actually worked as an HR assistant. That is a huge lie. And it implies that she was getting paid a lot because, that is going to be a higher pay grade, but I left it all. I left it all for Monat. It is a lie. I also want to talk about the fact that she's 22. Based on her timeline and her LinkedIn and the stories she tells, she worked at this tech company for 10 months before joining Monat. Her first job after college for 10 months at 22 before deciding that the corporate world isn't for her. That is so naive and crazy. So I'm 31 years old, and I want to say this because if anyone here is watching and they're 25 or younger and you're not working the job that you thought you'd be working, maybe you dropped out of college, or you didn't go to college, or you don't have this desired skill, and you can't figure out what it is you want to do, and you're struggling with that. I just want you to know that at 25, that's okay. I promise you it is okay to not have your ducks in a row at 25. It's okay to not have your ducks in a row at 30. It's okay to not have your ducks in a row at 40. So if you are very young and struggling to find what it is you want to do, I promise you it'll come to you and it'll happen. I just want to reassure you, because I think this gut feeling in you where you feel like you're not where you're supposed to be is really what gets people to sign on for things like Monat, like Unique, like Arbonne. It is that feeling that we're not where we're supposed to be. If you are struggling mentally, seek the help. That's something that I did at, I think I was 22 when I really started to seek help for my mental health. And oh my gosh, the difference when I let go of the shame and the guilt, that helped me immensely. So sorry for that super weird, insert PSA, but to hear someone at 22 say that this isn't what I want it's just so entitled at 22 to say, hey, I should already be CEO. I graduated college. I want my high-rise apartment and I want it now. I don't want it to take time. I mean, we're going to revisit that little comment later on. Actually, let's revisit it now. Let's revisit that comment now because I think it'll be a good segue into her video. Okay, so I don't have to play the audio. It's like Pink Panther or something like that. I don't know. So it says, when someone tells me they launched their business, but it's been 2 months and they haven't seen major success. Don't put a timeline on your success. Never stop serving others. What? That's not even related, but okay. Don't put a timeline on your success. Never stop serving others. You got this.
And if it did, it would take a very long time.
Don't put a timeline on your success, but also I'm going to work for a company for 10 months before deciding that it's not going to be the way to get the high-rise apartment quick enough. Spoiler alert, she is still not in that high-rise apartment. This is a little success tip that she's going to give us, but I really want you to see the hypocrisy of her joining the tech company right after college, not getting what she wants, right? So not being able to get this high-rise apartment fast enough, not being able to get the more that she's craving fast enough. This entitlement that she joined this company and after 10 months wasn't feeling fulfilled as an HR assistant, not the marketing position that she's been lying about. And then to suddenly join Monat and time suddenly isn't important to her anymore. Her income is unstable, is no longer important to her. The fact that she doesn't have this 401k, this PTO, the benefits, that's suddenly just not important anymore. I just want you to hear a couple of things that she says.
A lot of people ask me, what books do you read? What podcasts do you listen to? How do you stay motivated? What's your advice? What have you learned from your failures? What advice do you have? All these different things, and it really a lot of things have just kind of led me to want to share this, but the number one success tip that I have, or just advice that I would give to anybody, this isn't even business related, this could relate to any part of your life, but I think it's definitely really helpful in business, this is the tip. And I'm I wish I had a concrete way of saying it, but this is what it is. Never, ever, ever stop growing, stop learning, stop trying new things. And that kind of stems from being curious And it's not just asking questions, but asking the right questions, finding better questions to ask. Throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. Because I think here's the thing, here's what I've noticed. In society, people, and I don't know if y'all want to drop in the comments, like if you agree, what do you think about that, what pops to your mind when you hear that. And the reason why is because people want instant gratification nowadays. So people want, I feel like what I've observed is people want to buy a book and then have it change their life. It changes their business.
They want to get a job right after college and suddenly be making millions. They get dissatisfied at 22 and decide to just leave their job because it's not giving them this luxurious lifestyle that they so desire. So that's her. I really wanted to introduce you before we get into her Monat video. I think what's going to be funny about this next video is that she's going to disguise it as like an introduction to business. It's called Business 101, Why I Chose Network Marketing and Monat. So it almost sounds like she's going to be sharing with us what she learned in college, but what you will hear right away is that this is all stuff that we have seen regurgitated again and again by other Monat Huns and actually other network people in network marketing. So this is nothing new. This is nothing that she learned in college. It's word of mouth. It's the way that these Huns play telephone with each other and just start saying stuff. Without further ado, I present to you Business 101 by some Monat Hun.
So I'm going to talk about why I chose network marketing and why I chose Monat specifically. But before I joined Monat, 2 years prior, in 2018, I was at and I graduated with my degree in business management. I chose management because I knew, just from like reading about all the business majors, I knew I would do business. I started my own bow business when I was in high school. Business has been my path and my journey. I knew I would do it, like no doubt in my mind. Since I was a little girl, I knew I wanted to do it. And I chose management because you learn about HR, marketing, finance, accounting.
The first thing she mentioned was HR. It seems like a really weird thing to nitpick at, but please, in the comments, please let me know if you agree. Like, I feel like saying that you worked in marketing for a tech firm is vastly different than working as an HR assistant. I think because Monat is all about marketing, she likes to say that she worked in marketing because it gives her authority to speak on this job, I should say. I just feel like if I were a business major, the first thing you would say, oh, I chose business management because you learn all facets of business. You learn the finances of it. You learn how to run a business. HR wouldn't even come out of my mouth. I don't know. The first time I watched this, I didn't catch that because I think I had seen her LinkedIn after. But the fact that she said HR first speaks volumes.
Like every single aspect of the business. I loved finance. I loved every single thing in business. That's what I went to school for. That's what I got my degree in. I had every intention when I graduated college to get a job in the corporate world. That's what I ended up doing. And I was working at this amazing tech company. I had amazing coworkers. Everyone was so smart, so just wonderful, wonderful people. And I learned a lot in that experience, but what I realized was I was very unfulfilled and I knew I was meant for more. I realized that my roots of wanting to do entrepreneurship were obviously not being fulfilled in that job. I was doing a marketing job and I learned so much there. I fell in love with marketing. I fell in love with branding, and that's where my background is. Really, like if you all want to talk business, that's what we're going to do today. We're really going to break down what network marketing is and the difference between the corporate world and why I chose this. So about a year into my corporate job, I started Monat as a side hustle, and then I want to say like I joined in May, and then the next January of 2020, I left that stable full-time corporate job to pursue Monat, build it, grow it, scale it, thrive doing this, being a CEO.
You are not a CEO.
So let me talk about why I started this, why network marketing is so great. The first thing that I want to share is there's a company or an organization, it's called Direct Selling News, and they conduct industry research on all of the companies that are in our business. So every year, they come out with a list of 100 of the top companies, and the way that you get on this list is they are looking at, like, the ranking is based on revenue. So if you don't know business, revenue is sales. It's like money made.
If you don't know what revenue is, I have a college degree in business management. Let me tell you what revenue is. I mean, we know what revenue is. Common people know what revenue is. I know I shouldn't be making fun of that because I shouldn't be making fun of that.
Made by what you're selling. So Monat, of 100 companies, now just know there's really, okay, it's actually of 64 companies. There's a really big names on here. I'm not going to go into all the names. Monat ranked number 23 at $804 million in revenue in 2020. So for a company that's 6 years old, that is amazing. Now,
so I want to talk about this list. I think it actually came up in a previous video. Side note, my nose ring, I always forget to point it out. I know my nose ring is sideways all the time. My lips are big. I talk a little bit out of the side of my mouth and it just slowly starts to like slant over. So this list of direct sales, basically it's a list of other network marketing businesses, and you know, based on revenue, which is like the top performing, which has the best commission, et cetera, et cetera. If I looked at that list and was like, okay, what company do I want to be a part of? There's actually nothing stopping me from joining the number one. So let's say that there's a list and the list is like companies that pay their employees the most. Let's say the number one on that list was something called John Smith Company, and then the number two was Jane Doe Company, and the number three was, I'm running out of names. You can't just say, oh my gosh, number one, you know, the John Smith Company is the top paying company in the United States. I'm going to join that company and I'm going to be it and I'm going to get good money, right? You can't just join the top performing company in the United States. When it comes to that network marketing list, there's nothing stopping anyone from joining the number one or the number two or the number three list. There's nothing stopping anyone from leaving their current network marketing company to join the number one, with the exception of like being able to afford the starter kits for these companies. Like, I don't really understand the point of bringing up this list when you're not number one. Does that make sense? Because there's always opportunities at all of these companies. I hope that that makes sense.
Really well-known companies above us. They've been around for, some of them, over a century. So now this is very exciting. So if you're thinking like, I've been, you know, considering this opportunity, I've, you know, heard about it from other people, I've heard about other companies from other people, I don't know which one, like,
Again, if you don't know which one, just join the number one company. There's absolutely nothing stopping you from joining the number one company on that list. Like, why would you be like, I'm going to join number 23? Join number one. There's nothing stopping you. It's network marketing. Anyone can join.
You can just imagine how we're going to continue to move up from that 23 spot as just a hot company, a company that's something that you would want to be a part of. So another thing of why this company is so amazing is because we have a consumable product. So what that means is we have a product that people are using every single day. So we are in 3 billion, I'm pretty sure wellness is $1 trillion industries. So we are in the wellness supplement industry, we are in skincare and hair care. We're the number one fastest growing hair care company in North America. It was projected that in 2021, we would become a bigger company than Pantene based on revenue, meaning people are buying our products more than they're buying Pantene.
There was nothing to back this up. it's going to be a little bit challenging to be able to compare revenue between Pantene and Monat. I don't think it's a really good way to compare them, even if I could find that information, because Pantene products are significantly cheaper than Monat. So a Rejuvenique oil might cost someone who is not a VIP customer $100, and then a Pantene oil is probably going to cost like $5, $7, maybe 10 at the most. Which again, why are we constantly comparing Monat to drugstore brands? So anyway, that price difference is going to make a huge impact on revenue. So even if Pantene had a lower revenue, we're not really looking at units sold. For one Rejuvenique oil, which is going to be $100 for a regular consumer who's not a VIP customer, you could get 10 Pantene oils. I thought maybe we could look at brand worth. So this is going to be the value of the company as a whole. So it's going to include assets within the company. So maybe if they own their own factory to produce the products, if they well, actually, one that would be very significant is brand name alone. So the name of Pantene automatically gives it a higher value than Monat, which is not a household name. But Monat doesn't actually have a number for that. So I'm just going to kind of show you the revenue of Monat versus the brand value of Pantene. I wish that there was a better way to compare them, but at this point, there's not. Some of that, information is just hard to find. And with Monat, we only have the revenue. This is a businessforhome.org, not really a reputable source, but I specifically chose this one because it looked like they were estimating the revenue to be a little bit higher than it was. When you look at the 2018 revenue, it says 434 million. If I actually pull up the link from the journal that ranked Monat as the second fastest growing business in South Florida, yeah, what a list. The 2018 revenue is 365 million. So like the statistics video, I am a very generous giving person. I'm going to go ahead and give them the higher number, right? So when we look at the 2020 revenue, which is 804 million, it could very well be less than that, but I'm going to assume it's no more than that. If we look at the brand value of Pantene, the brand is valued at we'll just say 5.2 billion. It's also probably hard to find Pantene's revenue because Pantene is owned by Procter & Gamble. At the end of the year, Procter & Gamble isn't going to say, okay, this is how much Pantene made. It's sort of like a group of other brands. So it probably will include Olay, Head & Shoulders, Gillette. It's going to be a group, and they're going to look at how much those brands made as a total together and not separate them. It's like a category that they have with Procter & Gamble, just like they also have paper towels and toilet paper and whatever in like another group, right? I don't know why she said that. I could not find anything comparing Monat and Pantene. So I'm guessing this was like another game of telephone that she's played with other people.
Meaning people are buying our products more than they're buying Pantene. And Pantene is on every shelf of any store. You will find it. So it's readily accessible. To get our product, you have to go through someone like me, someone who is promoting the product, or you can go on the company's website and get it, but you can't get it in a store. So that alone just says so much. I think in skincare, based on revenue, we are the number 11 company in the entire world.
No, you're not. You're not, though. You can't just say, oh, I think we are. You're not. You haven't looked it up. Pull up the receipts. I always say that. Pull them up. Show us that. She was like, oh, people are buying us more than Pantene because we do more in revenue, but that, you're not even looking at the price of your product. I say again, for each Rejuvenique oil purchased, you could buy 10 oils from Pantene.
The other thing is just simply that this is social selling or social marketing. And so that's what we do. That's like the most genuine way of marketing. And so that's what we teach. We teach it in a very genuine way. And what I want to emphasize is that that's what every single person does. So whether you're talking about your gym that you go to, and people are like I literally had someone ask me what gym I go to like yesterday. So now I'm talking about 24-hour fitness. I don't know if she's gonna go get a membership, but I don't make any commission off of making a sale for them. Or, you know, people ask about the glasses, they ask about your necklace, they ask what makeup you're wearing.
No one is asking about your fake Chanel necklace. And that's not to shame her for wearing like a fake Chanel necklace. I know a lot of people are into like bootleg designer jewelry and bags, and that's fine. Like for me personally, the way that she threw that Chanel necklace into the camera was a way to flaunt her luxurious lifestyle. Having products that are Chanel and Dior and Prada, etc. When we have those brands, it makes us, it's a status symbol, right? Having a Chanel necklace is a status symbol. So it's not a coincidence that she just flung that Chanel necklace, you know, in front of the camera and said like, look what I got. It's just like, it's kind of tacky. And they always make this argument that like you're doing it anyway and you're not getting paid for it, right? So I'm like sharing this great movie I saw and people are going to the movie and I'm not getting paid for it. And it's like not every moment of my life has to bring in money. Me sitting right here talking about anti-MLM stuff is not making me any money whatsoever. I don't really understand this argument anyway, because joining Monat doesn't mean that I'm suddenly now going to get paid for recommending movies. Monat doesn't change that.
The next thing I want to talk about is this versus the corporate world.
So before she starts talking about the corporate world, I want to remind you that she joined Monat 10 months into working at a tech company as an HR assistant, again, not in marketing. So the total amount of time she spent working in the corporate world is 1 year and 7 months.
The first thing I wrote was more fun. I think that's a given. Y'all see my stories, you see what I'm doing, you know what's up. I was sitting in a cubicle for 8 hours at a job.
I had to sit in a cubicle for 8 hours a day. I do not work in a cubicle, but I find this so insulting. My mom retired last year after working in social services for, I can't remember the exact amount, probably over 30 years. And she served her community so well from that cubicle. She assisted in foster care. She assisted in getting food stamps for people who need them, unemployment, disability. She helped people get insurance. She provided resources to teenagers who may not have someone to lean on. I just find it so insulting to compare her job to a cubicle job and say that cubicles just aren't, it's not a fulfilling job. My mom sat in a cubicle to do this work that served her community, and she helped so many people. And then in her surrounding cubicles, her coworkers were not only doing the same thing, but she created lifelong friendships with those people. A lot of her coworkers have also since retired, and she still sees them all the time. When you leave Monat, I'm curious how many people still talk to you and reach out to you when you need it.
It was physically, spiritually, mentally, physically exhausting. And so now I work from home. I get to hang out with my parents. I can work from wherever as long as I can use my phone. As long as I'm around people, I can work. So it's just amazing. Like all the places that I've been able to bring my laptop and my phone and go work, like travel, pick up and go. I don't have to ask for PTO from anybody. I am my own boss. So
you can't ask for PTO. You don't get PTO. You don't get paid to do this. Let's just take this video for example. This video, let's look at the timestamp, is almost 30 minutes long. You probably spent an hour putting this together because you wanted to pull up some websites. You wanted to pull some of your own examples. So you probably spent anywhere from like an hour to 2 hours putting together this whole little Instagram live, and you didn't get paid for any of that time. You don't get that time back.
Another thing is that in the corporate world of 1.5 years working at a corporate job, I got one salary increase. It was 3% and 0 promotions. People want instant gratification nowadays. for my efforts. In Monat, from the year that I started to my next year, I got a 13% increase, and I've promoted myself 3 times.
I was so excited when she did this because she just gave us her income. She just gave us her income. She handed it to us on a silver platter. So before I go into the calculations of her income, let's just dissect that moment. A year and a half into working with a company, you should not be expecting 3 promotions. Of course, it can happen. It's going to depend on a lot of different things, how big the company is, what your role is, what you want to transition into. It is possible. She is so far removed from reality that she thinks that she was owed something for working for a company for 1.5 years. So she says with Monat, she promoted herself. They always say that. She promoted herself 3 times and got a 13% raise. I want to put this into perspective for, let's say, like a minimum wage job and what that would look like. So I live in the Bay Area. Minimum wage in San Francisco, I think it's $15. Let's just say it is. For some of you that maybe are in rural areas, that probably sounds really high. It's a California cost of living thing. It's rough out here. It's rough. Let's say you are working at McDonald's, minimum wage, you're getting $15 an hour. Now, let's say you got 3 promotions out of that. So let's say you start as a cashier, and then you're promoted to shift lead, and then you're promoted to some kind of manager, and now you're a general manager. A 13% raise would be insulting. You were making $15 an hour. We're going to multiply that by 0.13. So that would be a 13% increase. A 13% increase would be $1.95. So if we add that to the original 15, your new wage as a general manager would then be $17. So that would be if you got a 13% raise for 3 promotions. If you are promoted 3 times in a company and you've only received a 13% increase, you need to talk to your boss. I mentioned she did sort of just tell us her income. Again, me being the salt of the earth, I always give the benefit of the doubt. So we're going to look at the high annual gross earnings. So this is the highest wage, that's not the right word, the highest amount of earnings that someone did at each rank. Let's look at the market partner. So this would be the starting rank. She has said that she has promoted herself 3 times. That would make her a market builder. She could possibly mean associate market builder, like she's at the 3rd rank, but I'm super nice. I'm going to go ahead and say that she is in fact a market builder. If she's getting a 13% increase, that means it's going to be off whatever her market partner earnings was. The highest possible she could earn as a market partner would have been $12,000. Let's just say $13,000. We know she's not making that, but again, benefit of the doubt. We're going to multiply that by that 13%. We're going to add that to the original number. The most that she could be making right now annually would be $14,690,000 a year. So Huns, just be careful. Be careful what you say. Math is very easy. Math is very, very easy. So when you slip up and say things like you've had a 13% increase from when you started, we can do those calculations.
Where else can you do that? Where else is your hard work actually compensated and you're recognized for the work that you do?
Literally any job. I am compensated for my work. I get PTO, I get health benefits. You are not compensated for all the hard work you just put into making this Instagram live. Also, with a real job like the one I have, we get annual reviews. Our company will directly recognize us for our performance. So if we're doing really well, we get recognized for it. And oftentimes when we are recognized for that hard work, we're rewarded with actual promotions and actual raises.
And sometimes when you are like adulting, I guess, you're realizing like, okay, everything's not so fun. Maybe, right? That's like your mindset. You're like, everything can't be fun. I have to have responsibility. I have to get these things done. I have to provide for myself, for my family. I have to do all these things, and it somewhere along the line of life, we get away from dreams and fun and playing and having a good time and laugh.
Literally, shut up. You are 22. I can't be nice about that. You are 22. You have hardly even begun to like live. I mean, she lives with her parents, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, but she hasn't even gone through the motions of providing the credit report and applying for apartments and having to put down the deposit and making these monthly payments on not just the apartment, but the electricity bill and garbage and, you know, all of that stuff that comes with being an adult. She doesn't have, you know, a family to provide for. She's only worked a corporate job once for 1.5 years. You have no authority to tell anyone how to spend their adulting life.
Being childlike to like, I'm an adult, this is how it needs to be done, it's not going to be fun, you better live in your 20s because the rest is just not going to be the same. Like, that is something that I used to believe, but it's because of this company, my mindset has expanded so much and I dream so much bigger. I know that that doesn't have to be how life is.
She's so woke.
Lastly, you really see your impact. So when I was in the corporate world, I feel like I was a little cog in a really big machine. It was about 8,000 employees, not to mention the contractors that were in the business globally, and what I was doing, to be honest, felt so minuscule that I was like, dude, what am I doing with my life? Like, I'm just gonna be a small little cog in a machine for like 40, 30 more years. I didn't want that for myself. And look, like, again, like, not to knock like anybody who has that kind of job, like, it's important work, it needs to get done, but I didn't want to be the person that was going to do it.
I'm just so confused by what she thinks she's doing with Monat. If anything, she is an even smaller cog in a much larger machine. I had to Google it, but yeah, there's 500,000 distributors for Monat. What in God's name does she think that she's doing? That's just going to wrap it up. I mean, she doesn't really say anything else after that. That's going to conclude the video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I will be back. I don't know when. I don't have a schedule. I don't know if you've noticed. I kind of just upload like as I have time. As always, my Instagram and my email is listed below if you have anything you want to share with me. Oh my gosh, I made that stupid joke in the last video. I think I had 6 subscribers and wanting to hit 10 by the end of the year. I am at 19 subscribers and it's super cheesy, but I have really enjoyed being able to rant and ramble on YouTube. So thank you all for like being a part of this little random journey of mine. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.